Good morning, y'all. And we are back. And I got my equipment because, last time I was in a hotel room. So we are back to business. And I got a good grant today, y'all. This one is for $100,000. And they are selecting 100 winners. That's 100. Because normally it'd be like, two people are going to win, three people are going to win. 100 people will have the opportunity to have access to $100,000. The kick with this one is your idea or current project, you only get 10 words. So before I go into the details, if you get anything of value from the video, beginning, middle, end, if you can share, subscribe, comment, turn on your notification bell. I also want to remind you all that I have a small business grant playlist on the channel. So that means if this grant doesn't work for you, there might be some other ones that's inside of that playlist. I think we're up to maybe 20 that's on that playlist. I also have a Discord/Patreon, however you want to say that. And then with that, I post grants in there. With that, I post the links only. We don't do the walkthrough. So if there's individuals where you just want to do the grants on your own, like this grant, I actually posted it in the Patreon or Discord already. So individuals have a jump start on getting their application in for this one. And then also there are documents that I share in there. I'm going to quickly share my screen as I always do, just so you can see a little bit of what is inside of there.
We don't do the walkthrough. So if there's individuals where
Okay, I had to mute my screen because I don't know what the playback was happening there. But let me go into the Discord. So here is the channel, and then I have different channels within the Discord. So as I said, here we have YouTube. So I post the YouTube videos as soon as I'm finished with those. We have international grants, so individuals that are not located inside of the US. And let me add, this is a global opportunity that we are going to be discussing. So you do not have to be located inside of the United States to be eligible for this particular grant. And then with the documents, we have a sample business plan, we have the pitch deck, guide to drop shipping, if that's something you're interested in, the Airbnb checklist. And then also this one is passive income with Airbnb, where literally they take you from start to finish of launching your Airbnb business. The general section here, I just post random things. It could be, one was like a grant writing seminar. So those types of things is not specific to a grant, or it could be free business books that you can have access to as well. And then I did start this accelerator channel. And this one is just for those opportunities that are not specific to grants. So it could be you get a 10-week cohort, 12-week, etc., where you're getting that mentorship, although you're not getting the money in your hand. But as I said, knowledge is way more valuable sometimes than the dollar that it's being given, especially if you don't know what to do with the money. So that's that piece. And then also, I try to remember to let you all know that there is someone that started a fraudulent email address that is not attached to me. It is moneytime with Ebony Dion ESQ at gmail.com, which is not my email address. And they're asking you for about $500 to apply for grants. I don't charge $500 for you to apply for the grant on your own. And then also, I'm not going to ask you for confidential information. They're asking you for your bank routing number, account number, probably your social security number. They're just asking you for a lot of information. And this is why I always say, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence with me. And I said in the last video, lawyers get disbarred every day. Lawyers have ethic violations every day. So just because I'm an attorney, do not take what I say as gospel. Am I a fraudulent person? I am not. I do not, I'm not out to take folks' money, but I do believe as a business owner, the onus is on you to make sure that the information that I'm providing is accurate. So even though I'm going to read all the terms, I'm going to give you this information. Maybe the way I interpret it is a little off and you interpret it differently. So definitely always do your due diligence regardless of the source. But that's how the lawyers think. So I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to put the Patreon and then also my website, because I do offer consultations if that's something that you're interested in as well. In those consultations, you can talk about anything you want to talk about, or we can talk about how to get your business from idea to operation, or if you hit like some hiccups in the process and your business is already going, we could talk about all of those things. But again, only through my website. I do not do business through emails. There's no Cash App, there's no Zelle, there's no nothing. You need to pay on the website. So anybody that is requesting funds outside of going to my website, which is going to be in the comments as well as the description box, that's not me. So again, do your due diligence to make sure that somebody does not take advantage of you. You're welcome, Sahuni World. So there is the Patreon, and then there's my website. But then also I posted a video, now it's 2 videos ago, about it's a rent-to-own program. So if you're trying to get into a home and I think the minimum credit score is 550 and you're not in a position to get a mortgage today, this program will allow you to pick your own home. They'll pay the cash, you'll rent it from them for maybe a year, maximum 2 years. And then after that, you will go out and get your own mortgage and you will purchase a home back from them. And the only reason I really like this program is because you're selecting the home that you want versus you're doing a random search or whatever is out there that's available in order for you to rent to then own. This is you being a part of that process. Now, all this out the way, let's talk about this grandchild. Of course, you saw from the title, Airbnb is attached to this, but let me first and foremost give you some of the rules because there are a lot. And if you only go to their first page, the first page tells you that you need to do 10 words of this idea, but them rules, y'all, it's a lot. So here we go. Now the deadline, that's why I say hairy, is July 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You must be 18 years or older. And on top of that, you must be eligible to be a host on their site. So if you're currently a host and you've had some issues and you got kicked off, can't do this one. If you can't, for whatever reason, become a host, you're not eligible. The money is tax deductible, and we talk about this all the time. They are going to report that you received $100,000. So also, when you are submitting your grant, that is one of the key things that they discuss, is that you need to take into consideration taxes when you're giving them your budget. And the budget doesn't even happen in phase 1 anyways. It happens in phase 2. But with that budget, let's say you create a budget for $100,000. Taxes of $20,000. Now you're $20,000 short for completion because of the taxes. And then if you're in a country that requires them to withhold taxes, they're going to withhold taxes prior to giving you the payment. The payment is not one lump sum. There are 3 separate disbursements for those funds. And each one, you have to give them deliverables in order for them to then pay you, right? So you're not going to apply and then they select you and boom, they give you $100,000. You're not going to be able to apply, they give you $100,000 and you only use $50,000 because they're going to watch every single penny that they have distributed to you to ensure that you are using the funds for the purpose of which you applied for. Now, their 100% is going to be the number that you're going to get to as far as the requirements. So let's talk about those requirements. When you think about this idea, the idea that they want is somebody to create a creative Airbnb space that is an experience for consumers. So think about, there is an Airbnb currently that has made well over $200,000, and it's shaped like a potato. A potato. The outside looks like a potato, and the walls look like the inside of a potato. And then they got other stuff, going on in the home. So that is what they are looking for. They're looking for ideas that are that creative that then will be on their site. One of the restrictions is that if you're selected, that home or short-term rental can only be on their site the first year. So you can't do any other websites, any other marketing. You only can market through them for the first year. Also, you need to make sure that you are in a location. Well, not that you're in a location, the location that you select to build or to renovate is in a location that is currently allowing short-term rentals, because we all know there's been some restrictions attached to short-term rentals. So you don't want to pick a location and then actually we don't allow short-term rentals. Of course, if that's the case, you will not be eligible to apply. So 40% of the criteria, the selection criteria, is based on how crazy is the idea. So when they say crazy, they're looking at, is it one of a kind? Is it unique? Will it provide an experience for consumers? What is it inspired by? And I think there's one more. Is it something that they've never seen before? So don't come to them and say you're going to do a potato, because they've already seen a potato. They already have a potato. They don't want another potato. So, things, but remember, you only got 10 words to say what this piece of property is going to look like, and then how it's going to inspire. So you got to be concise. We've talked about being concise a lot. This one is going to test your conciseness. And 40% is going to be feasibility. And that's what I briefly mentioned about, okay, is it in a location that allows short-term rentals? Do you have all of the permits? Are you able to pull all of the permits in order to create this space? The space has to be able to be created within 9 months. Are you able to do that? Are you able, from idea to completion, have this up and running in 9 months? Also, not only when I say idea to inception, it could be that you currently have a piece of property that you're currently renovating, and this $100,000 will accelerate that process. So it does not have to be, I got this idea and I don't know what to do. It could be, man, I've been working on this for the past 2 years, and this influx of money would then be able to assist you. So that is an option as well. 10% is going to be sustainability. So when they're talking about sustainability, they just means like, what is it? What is the effect on the environment? Are you using sustainable resources in order to create that space? But you see that that's only 10%. So they don't care too much about sustainability. They really want it to be a crazy idea that you can actually complete. And then 10% is going to be the immersive experience. So that's going to be the experience for the consumer. So what you really need to focus on is your idea, and can you really do it? Because you can put some sustainable materials through the build project or process, and you can, obviously, if you have a crazy enough idea that you think consumers would be interested in, it's going to be an experience. I mean, sleeping in a potato house has to be an experience within itself. So don't think too much about that. Now, here are some of the key deadlines. Once your application goes in, they are going to first select 500 people. Okay, so when they select the first 500 individuals, then those 500 individuals are going to have to provide to them your blueprint, the process, so your budget, all of that, within, I think they give you a week. Yeah, so they're going to select everybody on August the 18th is your deadline. August 9th is when they're going to let you know if you're part of that 500. So once you're selected, you don't have that much time to get to them what they want. But I would assume that if you submitted this idea and the deadline is the 22nd, between now and the 18th or even the 9th, you would at a minimum sketch an idea of your blueprint, or if it's already something you're working on, you have your blueprint and you have your documents to show that this is something that you can actually do. Then on August 26th, they're going to take that 500 down to 200. And then at that point, you're going to have to submit a video. So you're going to show a video, photos, etc., to show proof that you have started the process based off of your drawings and mock-ups that you gave them in the first phase. October 10th is when they're going to select the 100 winners, and then they're going to have 100 backups, right? So once they do a deeper dive into the 100 to see, okay, are you still able to get through this project in 9 months? Because that is the deadline. The deadline for completion is August of 2023, meaning August 1st of 2023, they want your subject property on their website. So think about that as well. So realistically, from today through August 1st, whatever this idea is, can you get it out there? I'm going to say this is a perfect opportunity if you want to get into the Airbnb business. You've been having this idea. Financially, you're not in a space to pay for it, and you can get you a team together. $100,000 to create the craziest idea that you can think of that, is actually able to come to fruition. But for myself, I don't know what it would be, right? I've sat and thought about, like, what if, because, everybody does these selfie rooms. And what if it was a home built like a cell phone or built like a Canon camera, and you go inside of this space and every room, even sleeping in the bed, is an opportunity to take a selfie. So you have a selfie house, not just, because I've seen where individuals will get a condo or a home and make selfie rooms. But imagine if you show up and there's a runway to get you to the door, where you walk through, the lens is the door for this camera, and then you go inside and it's the inner workings of a camera, right? So somebody can take a camera apart and then show you the inside, or you could probably find it on YouTube somewhere. And then the inside of the house looks like the inside of a camera. And then you have these hidden spaces that is the selfie rooms inside of the camera. So you gotta be way off somewhere with your idea. It can't just be, well, I guess this one could work, but it already exists. So this isn't but it's still built like Barbie's house, right? So that exists as well. But I'm pretty sure you all have all types of idea. I mean, it could be a money bag, and the inside of the house is, a bag of money, essentially. So just think through that and make sure that you're being as creative as possible. And then also making sure that you're going to be as concise as possible, because 10 words. Now, let me tell you about the locations. The locations are Australia, because I'm going to read the list because it's a bunch of them. Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, Denmark, France, Germany, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, Philippines, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, Thailand, UK, of course, the US, and Puerto Rico, but it excludes Quebec. You also must have a conversation level in English, and you have to be able to read and write English at an intermediate level. And they're going to request that you sign an affidavit saying that you can read and write English language, but that's only if you're selected to the second phase. So this isn't anything that you have to do with this phase. And then you will have to agree to obtain whatever insurance. So that's one of the requirements too. You must have insurance throughout the process. And then you got to get an Airbnb account, which we talked about. Here's a good one. You can have multiple entries. You do not only have to have one idea. You got to have one location per entry though. So I can't say that I want to build a house, I don't know, somewhere in Miami, and then I do 10 entries for the same location. So Miami Beach, people are familiar with that. I do 10 entries for Miami Beach. You will get disqualified, even if it's an idea that they would want. What you would have to do is, and you have to have a separate email for each application. What I recommend, if you're going to do multiple entries, I would just create a Gmail account for each location, right? So I would do, Miami Beach, dowhouse@gmail.com. If I'm going to do something else, Chicago selfie house@gmail.com. Now, it's not specific to the city, only the property location. So you can have 100 locations in Miami, 100 locations in Chicago. It just cannot be the exact same property location. But remember, each submission, you are saying that I would be able to get the permits, or I have some ownership right, because it could be that you have a piece of land and you've been trying to figure out what to do with it, and now you can build on that land. So definitely don't just submit applications to submit them. Make sure that you would then qualify, because what you don't want to do is waste their time. And then you have all these other applications in, and they say, you know what, we're not even going to bother with the other ones because they didn't do the necessary due diligence before submitting for, I don't know, property number 10, if you're going to do multiple ones. So what we're going to do is, you must respond to them in 1 day. Normally folks give you 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. They're going to email every single finalist, the 100, on October 12th. But remember, this is across the board. So I think the first deadline will be August 9th, where they're going to pick the 500. Then after that, August 26th, which is going to be the 200. And then October 10th is when they're going to pick the 100, but they email individuals 2 days after that, a maximum of 2 days. If you do not respond to them within 24 hours, they go on to the next person. So I don't know what you need to do to your accounts, if you need to put bells, whistles, alerts, etc. But if they email you and it goes to spam, they are not going to follow up. They're going to go to the next person. So I think it would be a great idea to just have a completely separate email account that, the only way emails are coming in is if it's coming from Airbnb, because $100,000 is a lot of money to miss out on because you didn't respond to the email. This is just for nonprofits. So Delonda, this is not for nonprofits. Nonprofits are not eligible to apply for this. This is for for-profit entities. Only South Africa. Yes, it is only for South Africa that is listed. What I would recommend, if you got friends, individuals that are located in South Africa, or if you know individuals that are located in countries that are not where you're not located, I would partner with them. I would find someone that you trust, that you can partner with, and you all can go in on this together. I will say that this is an annual opportunity. So this isn't a one-time thing. It's a one-time thing for this year, but they do this every year from what I can see, because I saw that they did this last year. I cannot say for sure they'll do it again next year, but I would think that they would continue to do it, because this is a revenue stream for Airbnb. Essentially, they're hiring strategists for free, right? Because you're coming up with the idea, you're pulling the permits, you're getting the insurance, you're doing all these things for them to have one leg up on their competition, which is what this is going to do. Because if they have, if they have 100 unique opportunities on their site, and their competition only has 5, and they're going to make money off of you, right? Because you're going to pay whatever the Airbnb fees are associated with booking that unit. So I would definitely partner with somebody if you can. And they do have an email address somewhere on the website. I would recommend emailing them and say, hey, you know, I noticed that the list, this space was excluded. Maybe that's something to think about for next year. And then next year you can have that opportunity as well. You're welcome. Okay, so let me share my screen so we can go. I'm telling y'all, 10 words. This grant thing is fairly simple. So actually, I want to go back out because I want you all to see the front page before the application. So here is. So here's some of the ideas that they have or that they've had per se. And then again, 100 people, $100,000. And then you have the judges and the things that we talked about, originality, feasibility. So by August of 2023, it needs to be on their site. The interior should be as memorable as the exterior, which is, you know, what I was thinking about, you know, what would it feel like to be inside of a camera instead of just, you know, behind the camera for the selfie room? And then think green, consider using clean energy and recycled materials. Again, that's 10% of the decision. 40% is feasibility. 40% is going to be originality and how crazy it is. And if it's one of a kind. And this is the one we talked about. It's a potato. And she has made $208,000 and it cost her only $32,000 to create. And I think with this idea, it's the curiosity of it all. Like, what would it be like to sleep inside of a potato? I'm looking at this and I don't see any windows. So that does not interest me at all. Unless there's a window on the other side. I don't want to be anywhere sleeping without a window. But hey, it might work for some people. And then you had someone that had a yellow submarine, $14,000 it cost them. They've made $69,000 since 2018, but then she's made over 200 since 2019. So she's made a little bit more. Here's another one since 2019. I mean, it cost 36,000. They've made 50,000. So they've broken even, but I want to see a little bit more. And then there's some of their ideas. So let's get to the application, which is very short and sweet. So your name, email address, country, region, where will it be located? Making sure you're 18 years of age or older. Read, write, and comprehend in the English language. You would say yes, because if you say no, you're not eligible, but do not say yes and you're lying. So let me put that out there. When I'm saying what you have to say in order to be eligible, I am not advocating lying because they will figure it out, because it sounds like you all are going to have a lot of touch points with them. But what I can say is, which they said, the only thing we're helping y'all with is the money. So do not come to us asking us questions, helping you get the permit, helping you get licenses, helping you find builders, they're not helping you with anything but the money. And this is where I say where it is important sometimes to have those mentorships versus the money, because if you get the money and you don't know what to do with it, you're in a worse off situation than if I had the mentor and maybe $10,000, because they're going to show me the ropes versus here, you're on your own. So make sure you got the right team together, and that needs to include an accountant, because tracking $100,000 and they're going to want all of that is going to be very difficult, very difficult. If you're in the real estate industry, this is perfect for you. If you're a builder, if you're an architect, you would then be able to help with those touch points as well, licenses, permits, building, etc. So think about your team as well when you're going through this process. And then this is where I told you all where there's 3 different types of submissions. So you can have an existing property that requires some renovation or work, an idea in progress where the funding could be used to complete it, or you're only in the idea stage. So again, if you're sitting on the couch and you're like, you know what, let me make a house out of a camera and call it, you know, the selfie experience or something like that. if I could put all that together, I think that would be highly successful because these selfie rooms are taking off like crazy. All right. And then what sort of rights or permissions? This is what they're talking about. You got the necessary permits or permission. If it's not your land, somebody has given you access to the land. If you have to have certain permits in your municipality or whatever it's called, you know, their bureaus, I know that's a term. You need to make sure that you're able to get that or that you already have it. And then if you don't think you're going to be able to secure it, obviously they're not going to give you $100,000. And then here's where they're saying 10 words, 40 character limit, approximately 10 words to describe the one-of-a-kind space you will create, right? So if the space, 10 words to talk about, you know, structurally or a duplication, right, of a Canon camera with an immersive experience of a selfie room, something like that. But you're going to have to break it down to the characters, right? So if you have shorter words, you're going to get more words, but characters for them, you know, it includes just spaces too. So if you have longer words, you're going to have shorter words. I mean, if you have longer words, you're going to have a shorter sentence. If you have shorter words, you're going to get a longer sentence, right? So it might be 10 words, it might be 13, depending on how large the words are. And then describe where it will be located, the inspiration behind it, and what's special about it. 400 words. So you have to be concise. And what I'm going to assume is that they're going to read these 10 words. And if those 10 words grab their attention, then they're going to go into the 400. I don't foresee them reading the 10 and they're like, she's going to build a house made like a shoe. We've seen that. Next. And then, but if you say, the house is going to be shaped like a camera, the inside of that sounds interesting, then they're going to read that 400. So here you're going to talk about what is the inspiration behind it. So if you're a photographer, that could be your inspiration. If you are a social media influencer, you know, the ones to take all the pictures and travel, because I'm not that type. That could be what it is. That's your inspiration. And then the unusual shape would be the camera, right? Shaped like a camera. And then, is it a surprising place for an overnight stay? I would say yes, because we're accustomed to selfie rooms, but not thinking about even wherever you sleep is going to be a selfie experience. And then is it inspired by everyday objects? I would say, yeah, at this point in this, you know, digital age, a camera is an everyday object, whether it is, you know, a Canon camera or if it is the camera on your camera phone. And then tell us about yourself. You get 60 words. So you got to be inspirational. You got to be concise. You got to be interesting in these 60 words. And remember, if they made it past the 400, now they're curious of what type of individual would think of this, right? So whatever it is that you want to tell them, and it said information about your design, construction, or hosting background. So if you're already on Airbnb, but I wouldn't put that much emphasis on the fact that you're hosting for Airbnb, mainly because you get 60 words, you can say that quickly and they can find you, right, under your name. But I would really give them something that you're passionate about, whether it's, you know, I've been doing photography for 20 years and it's always been interesting to me, you know, the inner workings of the camera, and then been able to give this experience to either fellow photographers, because I think other photographers are going to be interested as well, or just individuals in the community will be interested in that. So definitely make it more creative as far as who you are and how you got to this space versus I've been hosting on Airbnb for, you know, 10 plus years and I saw this opportunity. So I thought it'd be a great idea to add to my portfolio. That's not interesting, right? Especially you're not even tying it back to the idea that they're asking you about, which is this crazy idea. And then here you just say you understand that they're going to withhold taxes. These are the official rules that we've went through. Again, do your due diligence and read them on your own. It's about 13 pages. It's pretty dense, but I think that it's imperative that you read it, because once you're selected, they're going to send you a lot of things, because there's going to be confidentiality agreements. I saw there's going to be a liability release. There's going to be a publicity release form. And then there's going to be that declaration affidavit. So you got to get used to reading the fine prints, or hire you an attorney in your location, because I am not licensed in every state, so I cannot assist with that. But hire somebody that can then go over these documents if it gets a little bit too complicated for you to understand, too much legalese. But definitely as a business owner, make sure you're reading everything. And then this is saying if you want to receive updates about similar initiatives. If you say no to this, you're crazy, because this is going to be other opportunities that they might have throughout the year for you to be able to have access to. So I would definitely say, put me on your mailing list, and put me on your mailing list now. Let's see. I need this. Will you help me? Ken9, I think that's what that says. Ken9. Yes, I mean, I do offer consultations on my website. I'm not sure how the chat option works on this, if you can scroll to the top, or does it have to be again, but I'll type it again. So I just typed the website. Like I said, I don't know if, if you come in later, it doesn't let you see the previous comments, but I am licensed in Missouri as far as being an attorney. King. Okay. See, it says KIIN9. But maybe that says King. So I put that there. That's the end, y'all. So this application should take you no more than 10 minutes. When I say no more, because you get 10 words. I think what's going to be the most time consuming is figuring out how to creatively be concise, and then also talking about yourself and tying it back to what they're asking you to do. But I know that was probably loud because it was loud on my ear. If you got anything of value, if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell, all of that, read the shirt is asking for the exact same thing. I really can appreciate if you can share the video, because I'm trying to go viral, y'all. I just need one of these videos to do what I need to do, and then, bring more people to the opportunity. Also, I am almost at 10,000 subscribers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I forget what it's called, but YouTube sent me something, a premiere. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a premiere, and I'm going to figure out how to, put it on there. And then it's just going to be like a all about me, get to know me type thing, because I know I do the grants, and then we can just like chit chat it up for an hour about pretty much anything, depending on how many, comments I have, I'll get to as many as I can. But if you want to submit questions or anything beforehand, I'm going to put my email in the description box. And then from today until I hit the 10,000, I'm going to collect them, and then I'll address some of them doing this premiere once I get to my 10,000 subscribers. Yes, please share. And let's see, New York, the 9 is a G. Me too, let's link. I am not in New York. I am in Missouri. I have visited New York a lot, but I am not located in New York. We can definitely, depending on, I do have a separate email for collaborations, which will be in the description box as well. So you can reach out to that email address for that. And then thank you, Sohini, for sharing. I really appreciate that. So that's it for this grant. I think I got like 3 more left that I'm going to try to get out sooner rather than later. But again, unless there are no more questions, thank you for spending your morning with me. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, I have one more comment, y'all. Sounds good, Mr. King. I understand the language now. Sounds good. Just send an email to my collaboration email address. Again, talk to you all later. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you next time.